Now, I know what you're saying. John, didn't you do a video like this just a couple of days ago? Yes, I did. But in this video, I will discuss what TNA Wrestling needs to do to become a major player in the wrestling scene again. And these things are actually some things that they are trying to do right now, and if done correctly and absolutely maximized, they can become a major player in the professional wrestling scene again. Professional wrestling needs at least 3 major companies. Otherwise, the wrestlers going back and forth between just the two main companies gets a bit stale after a while because there's hardly anything for them to do. I know there are more companies that are out there and that can offer more in terms of opportunities and money other than AEW and WWE, like New Japan or AAA or any of the other companies that I haven't mentioned. But those other companies haven't garnered that widespread attention globally. I mean, there is talk about them in the professional wrestling circles, but apart from that, they haven't attracted that mainstream attention. So this is where a company like TNA Wrestling can seize the opportunity if they do things smartly and whilst being ambitious at the same time. So this video isn't just a simple wish list. It is taking what they are planning to do, TNA, and maximizing the impact of those plans. Pun definitely intended. So hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sudden Impact. I'm John, and without further ado, let's get started. This is Sudden Impact. So in a recent episode that I did, I talked about Nick Nemet's interview with the Daily Star, where he said that for TNA to be a major player again, they need to, in his words, put bums on seats. They need to be selling out or selling as many tickets as possible to their events, especially their pay-per-views, such as Genesis, Rebellion, Slammiversary, which are all being held in bigger venues this year, and the biggest venues that they've been to since 2014. So if they are able to sell the majority of those seats to those events, as well as the other PLEs, this will make everyone in the professional wrestling world take notice of them and think, oh, okay, maybe we should head on over to TNA, as they seem to be on the up and up. In another couple of episodes that I did on this channel, I also mentioned that TNA is looking for a distribution deal that includes a streaming component and a broadcast component and an on-demand component. So the company has said that they are trying to get a deal like this since July, and so that they can get, in their own words, as many viewers as possible. So this is something that can happen in 2025 if there is enough attention on the TNA product. So this only happens if there are a lot of people talking about them, and in a positive way as well. So the way to get people talking about them positively is to sell large amounts of tickets to all of their events and make sure the booking is top notch, which TNA, to their credit, has been able to do more or less. And so this will have networks and streaming companies take notice of them. I mean, just look at the WWE and Netflix deal, the AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery deal, which includes broadcasting Dynamite and Collision on TBS and TNT, and simulcasting both on Max in the US. So if TNA wants to get a similar deal that offers broadcasting and streaming services, like streaming on a platform which would be simulcast as well, this would be massive for the company. Just another way for TNA to become a major player again is by using the WWE style of booking, by having a focus on the long-term storytelling aspect of it. I mean, just look at how successful the Bloodline story has been for WWE in the past 4 years now, and it's just elevated that company to new heights of popularity with wrestling fans and casual fans alike. So they keep adding new elements to the story just to allow the fans to adjust to it and also get invested in that new little wrinkle in that story. So I don't think I need to go through the plot points of that whole Bloodline saga, but yeah, it has changed WWE for the better, especially since Triple H has taken over the booking duties and creative duties. So this is also carried over into AEW, where they're trying to do that with some of their stories as well, like the Death Riders and the Hurt Syndicate stories, as well as the best story and feud of the year for AEW, which was the Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland feud. Now, this one, the storytelling in that feud was just fantastic. If AEW can hang their hat on that one feud, and they should try and emulate that style of booking in the majority of their feuds going forward. So TNA should also start doing this type of booking as well as soon as possible, because it will bring in the viewers to the product and get them invested into TNA. And once they get invested into TNA, they become fans of the company. So I've got a couple of ready to go angles and stories that TNA can turn into exciting must-watch TV, namely being Joe Hendry's meteoric rise to the main event scene, as well as the return of the controversial wrestler Tessa Blanchard, who, in my opinion, her return should be booked like CM Punk's return to WWE. So if these stories are able to be told effectively in terms of the booking style, I reckon that TNA can develop a few other stories with this style of booking as well. Are you liking this video? Want to see more? Then like, share, and subscribe to this channel. It's free and helps me produce more videos like this. Go ahead and do it, so I can continue to bring you news from TNA Wrestling. And finally, I mentioned this in a couple of videos that I did earlier in 2024, namely where the former TNA Wrestling president, Scott D'Amore, reportedly went to the owners Anthem and asked them to increase TNA's budget so that they could actually sign some big name wrestlers, especially just to capitalize on the rebranding back to TNA. Briefly, what happened was Anthem said no. Then D'Amore tried to buy the company himself. Anthem rejected that buyout, and they also fired D'Amore as a result. They went about doing the rebrand without him. So they've had some success. I'm not denying that 2024 hasn't been a successful year for TNA wrestling, but we've had imagine if the wrestlers that Scott D'Amore was actually getting to appear in the company, like Okada, Will Ospreay, grizzled young veterans, Mustafa Ali, all signed relatively long-term deals because TNA were able to give them the money that they were chasing, and instead of them having to go elsewhere. If Anthem wants TNA to become a major player in professional wrestling, they need to increase the budget for TNA so that they can actually attract the big name stars. So hopefully Anthem does increase TNA's budget, but they will only do that if they see it as a good investment. Meaning if TNA are able to actually attract large crowds to their events, get a distribution deal, and get some buzz around them, then and only then will Anthem be basically forced to increase TNA's budget. So those are some of the ways that TNA can become a major player in the professional wrestling scene in 2025. Now, hopefully we see TNA actually do this, because, as I said before, professional wrestling is just all the better if there are multiple companies that are seen as major players in the wrestling scene. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also catch this episode and other episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Leave your comments down below and ring the bell for notifications on new videos. Until next time, I'm John, and this has been Sudden Impact.